and Alex. Alex has stepped away to have a little break for a second to deal with some stuff. So you are stuck with me and the pup, who is currently happily numbing on a bone on top of my foot and digging the bone into my pinky toe. Looks like we're going to have some knights action going on this table. Should be table 2. Maybe this is Steve Trimble versus Josh Suits, but we shall have that confirmed in a second. As I do not recognize hands very well. So they're still going through the setup. I see a bunch of night guns there, probably magnetized to make easier transportation. I hope you're all having a lovely Saturday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on which part of the world you are in. For me, it is currently 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Scotland. We are raising money for Child's Play, which is an international charity. I know at the very least they're in Canada, the US, UK, and Australia. And what they do is they go around and put toys and entertainment systems, video games, board games into hospitals for children to use, and also for domestic abuse centers as well, just to give the kids a little break from some of the toughest times of their lives, which is such a great cause, and every kid deserves to be as happy as they can be, and this is definitely helping with that. And as you heard, every $30 you donate does enter you into a raffle featuring lots of boxes of Warhammer, including some very rare figures. I think we gave out a red gobble, and maybe there's the Catachan Sergeant and Lieutenant up for grabs still. I'm not sure. But the big prizes that I am sure of is a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games. It looks like we have an Alex back.
We do have a me back. Hello.
But we also have a Sean Naden army to give away. And our top donor prize is a signed set of these objective markers, which are made by 3D6 Wargaming, and will be the most unique set of 40k markers in existence. No one will have such a unique set of markers, will they, Alex?
No, these will be the charitiest of Warhammer markers. Yeah.
Yes, and you get that for being the top donor.
Yeah.
So gotta bring out the big bucks if you want that. Last I heard, someone named Dave was winning. So if you go, hey, I can beat some guy named Dave, then go do it. Prove us. Prove it.
Maybe someone whose name rhymes with Murgle Matthew might be a good contender. But
yes.
Man, I see Oops or War Dogs on the table. I am excited.
I too am very excited. And the great thing is you can still support us if you cannot donate, or if you already have donated, you can share, like the streams, you can comment, subscribe, anything to signal boost us here on YouTube and Twitch, and any other platform we're broadcasting to. But yeah, you need to just do your part, help us out as much as you can. Because if you're enjoying this content, you should do it.
Yeah.
And we're going to have, whilst there's any up, should we just introduce ourselves for anyone who's new and waking up and going, who are these lovely, beautiful voices talking to us?
Yeah, so do you want to lead us off, or shall I?
I can go for it. Yeah. So, hello, my name is Christopher Irvine. I am a proud member of Team Scotland. I have a small YouTube channel as well called Overcharged Plasma Gaming, and I have about 3 years experience into getting into competitive 40k, and I apparently know a thing or two because I'm on a national team. I don't know how that happened. Still, I'm kind of waking up for that. How about yourself, Alex?
Yeah. Hi. I am Alex Towse. I am from Christchurch, New Zealand. So I am up doing the night shift commentary over here because it is just past 1 a.m. on Sunday morning for me because of time zones, and I'm here till 4 a.m. Let's go, embracing the no sleep attitude of Charity Hammer. But yeah, so I am part of the Best in Tabletop Frontiers podcast. I would like to think I'm a prominent player in the New Zealand 40k scene, and hoping to get to play internationally. But we've had COVID locking our country down, so travel's not really been a thing. So I'm yet to prove myself that way. But yeah, and I'm in here trying to use the fact I am in a useful time zone that makes night shifts for Charity Hammer less unreasonable for me.
Heck yeah. And
Yeah.
Team New Zealand, you'll get their captain first year. Let's go.
yeah. I am getting harassed by so many people. But no, should hopefully be going to the Australia New Zealand team champs next year. That's how things work. Yeah, the next one, which I think is next year, because there was one just recently.
Year after that, WTC. I get to
meet you. Baby. Sure. No, we're gonna meet at Charity Hammer next year, right? Something like that, maybe.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, we're just seeing things get set up. This, Chris, does this look like the scouring to you? This looks like the scouring to me.
I hope it is, because I do love me some scouring.
Yeah, I am also very excited for Chaos Knights on the scouring.
Well, it depends what they're running into. If it's something like Blood Angels or Orcs or something that's also aggressive, it can backfire real fast.
No, that's even better. I am excited for some violence. I might regret it later.
Melee input.
No, they do have access to -1 damage though, and they can hit you back hard.
They sure can.
But no, I don't know. I'm about it. I'm excited for it. I want to see the Knights. It'll be fun to see them hit another aggressive combat army on this really closed-in mission. I think it'd just be a good laugh, and it could be quick and violent. But if that happens, maybe we'll get one of the players to come step in and chat, like we had Tyler cover.
Yeah. Wait,
after
Alex.
His game was quick. Chris.
I've just spotted something. Is that Abaddon?
Wait, is it? I'm excited. Where?
Up at the top. It's got all blurry, unfortunately. So the camera's kind of like, don't take Abaddon away. But it's like there's a slightly smaller size thing.
That looks like it might be an Abaddon. That is cool. That is gaming. Can the tech
priest please confirm if that is maybe you at leaked Abaddon that we're just playtesting here a little bit?
I wonder who is playing this. Have we got that confirmed on this table? Because do we have 2 tables to stream, Chris? Do we know?
We should have 2 tables. According to the schedule, we have Hank Adams versus Matt Evans and Steve Trimble versus Josh Schutz. I think that's how you pronounce that surname. I apologize if it is not, but it is SHUTZ. So, Schutz.
Oh, I assumed it would be Schultz, but yeah, Josh Schutz. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Is it? Believe the schedule.
I'll join you in probably saying it wrong, okay? And I'm allowed to, because I've had my last name pronounced wrong all the time. So that seems fair, right? That's how that works.
That seems fair. Harlequins versus Chaos Knights. Do we know what type of Chaos of Harlequins this is? Is this light or dark? Or it could be Twilight. No, they both get nerfed.
It might be. I don't know if light got nerfed because they still advance and shoot normally. What is
light did get nerfed a little bit because what's happened is now the whole transshipment if you're far away thing.
Yeah, for sure. That's only 18 inches away, right?
Yeah, that was 12 inches. So you had to be a lot closer to stop that from happening. Now you can be a bit further away.
That's true, but they can still get their advance encounters remain stationary thing, which is really powerful with them. I mean, the mobility and aggression, the angles they can get. Oh, has that also changed? No, that's always been a thing.
I'm going to be getting you guys the list here shortly. These are just exhibition games that the actual GT games start in next round.
Yes.
So starting from 9 a.m. and Pacific Northwest time.
Yes, in Charity Hammer time.
Yeah, not in our time zones because that would just confuse all of the things.
Yeah, we have 3 different time zones going together and drastically different time zones going together. Things get complicated.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I had to I had to message Colin last night. Yo, is it this time over there? I think it was is it 2 o'clock over there? Just so I know when to get up.
Chris, I'll have you know, my podcast has given me a lot of experience in this. Just Googling time in location. Google's really good for that. That you can even it'll correct for days because until our most recent recording, the Frontiers podcast has always had. We've been on 3 different continents and in 3 different time zones. Usually, also 2 different days. So you get real good at saying, this day, this person's time, and accounting for that.
Yeah, and
So,
So my issue is that I am in programming partially, and I do not trust anything that is tech wise, even Google. So I would rather have it confirmed by a person if I can.
that makes some level of sense, but also, Chris, do you not is Stack Overflow not like the basis? The everyone borrows code or uses a toolbox?
I think so. We have a Harlequins list being distributed into the Discord here. So this is Josh. Josh shoots his Harlequin list. Do you want to run through this, Alex?
Oh man, you're asking me to read clowns? Sure. I will put on my
if you don't want to.
No, I got this. I will put on my clown makeup and my clown nose and make a fool of myself reading this list. They are light Harlequins, so they don't care about the trans hitmen being further away. They're probably just gonna advance and get close to you and hit you with fusion pistols. So they have paid for 1 Treasures of the Eldari, so 1 bonus relic, I believe. I don't know where the requisition stratagem comes in, but they have 1 at least relic. They've got a Shadow Seer with Mirror of Mind, so a smite type power. Webo Dance, which is that the Feel No Pain? I'm not quite sure. Shuriken Pistol, Laughing God's Eye, so that is a Feel No Pain against mortal wounds. There's a Troop Master, Foot in the Future, Fusion Pistol, Player of Light, Queen of Shards, Cigarettes Rose. Okay, so that is the auto. The advanced D3 plus 3, charge 2d6 plus 6 with a reasonably nasty combat weapon that I believe rerolls a wound, and a few other words that I don't know what they do, but make this guy really nasty in combat. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 troop. They all look like. Most of them look like they have some stuff. I'm counting actual troop units.
So you've got 5 of them who have the special stuff in there, and 1 of them is a spirit bonus.
Yeah. So we have a completely better ones unit. Are the other ones the same? Can we tell? They look
they are
pretty
5
similar.
times the same. So you got 5 with 2 fusion, 1 kiss, and 2 neuro and 1 embrace. So you got that times 5.
So I would assume the kiss and the embrace are the ones that do mortal wounds on the charge and mortal wounds to hit, if I had to guess. I don't know if you're able to confirm that, Chris.
I can confirm that. I can also confirm that Webway Dance is an aura of 6 up, Feel No Pain. If you give me 2 seconds, I will go to the stratagems by phase and figure this out on my definite book.
And so we've got Solitaire in there as well. He doesn't have any upgrades listed. He is just riding solo.
So the Harlequin's Kiss is gives you 1 speed stratagem, 6s to wound, to mortal wound in addition to any regular damage, to a maximum of 6.
Yeah, so they're just going for efficiency there.
Embrace is in the charge phase or heroic intervention, and roll a dice for every enemy model, and 4 up to mortal wound. Again, maximum of 6.
Yeah, so just some mortal wound output. So only 2 weapons makes all of them effective with those stratagems. And yeah, so then there's a couple of Skyweaver units. So they have the Star Bolus and the Shuriken Cannon. So they're just Shuriken Cannon's got a lovely glow up. I'm not sure what the Star Bolus is. Maybe you can check that with your.
So Star Bolus, I actually know because they're very good at killing Sanguinary Guard.
No.
But I'm just going to double confirm this before I give out wrong information. So Star Bowlers, they are Assault D3 Blast, so they're very good at killing Sanguinary Guard because they just get 3 shots each. Only 12-inch range, but they are Strength 7 minus 3 2 damage. That hit on 3s. That's tasty. We to finish off that Harlequins, I don't know where Alice has gone. We have also got a unit of 3 Prismatic Cannon Void Weavers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Star Weavers. Playing into the Harlequins, we have got Chaos Knights of House Unknown is not in the list that was given to us. we have got a War Dog. Oh, they're Frenzied Invader Iconoclast Household.
So I know this one. So sorry,
Yep.
I was just failing to swallow a drink badly there, so I muted myself.
No worries at all.
Yeah, so Frenzied Invaders. Yeah, Frenzied Invaders. These are exploding sixes to hit in melee. Iconoclast House is the faction that's all about melee. So on the charge, your basic knight with a melee weapon and a gun will have 5 attacks hitting on 3s, potentially 2s with a stratagem, and exploding 6s. So all about it. They'll have a bonus AP 4 or 5, depending on which claw, and doing a whole bunch of damage.
Yep. And so in this list, we have got a War Dog Brigand Squadron. Alex,
you good there,
know
Chris?
Chaos Knights
You want me to help?
better. Yeah. Just rather than me looking up through the books, I definitely have it in front of me.
Yeah.
All these Chaos Knight War Dogs.
Yeah, so War Dog Brigands, these are the new Terror Shades fancy dudes. So they have a melter gun. An upgraded melter gun. It's like a souped up multi-melter. So that and the chain cannon. So 12 shots at 6 -2 1 damage. So 2 of them, they're sort of looking to hold the backfield. We have a War Dog Executioner. So that is the autocannon knight. And that guy is holding the Mirror of Fates. So the Mirror of Fates being a Zinch paid points upgrade, which steals CP on a 5-up, really good with less CP, and a consistent burn throughout the game. And if they're offering Pleases the Chaos Gods, it will get a pseudo Miracle Dice effect. Next, we have a War Dog Carnivore Squadron. It has the Blood Shield, the Corn. You don't get invols, I don't get invols, but I didn't have them anyway, so I don't care. Once per game points upgrade. But if they honor the Chaos Gods with by basically killing 5 wounds worth of models, they get to do that again. Which, if you're ignoring someone's invols, you'll probably kill 5 wounds of models and have another go.
Such as Harlequins.
Yeah. So that'll be especially effective, and that's on a Carnivore. So that will have a sweep attack on its melee. So that if that goes to touch anything, they will die. It could even pick up because of the 6 attacks on 2s that'll have, and with sweeps they can go up to 18 attacks potentially. There, I wouldn't be surprised if that caught out 2 troop open out of boats. It could pick up both of them. And then there's 2 more Carnivores in that squadron. So the fast-moving full melee knights, a War Dog Stalker Squadron. So they have these have Slaughter Claws. I believe all of them. No, one of them has the Reaper Chaintail on, with Mark of the Dread Knight, which I'm not actually familiar with. The other 2 have Slaughter Claws, the big D3 plus 3 damage claws that could be good into transports, and all of them have the Avenger Chain Cannon, so 12 shots at 6 -2 2. 6 -2 1, sorry. And finally, one more Stalker Squadron, and these ones have melter guns. And Slaughter Claws, so big damage lads.
Yes. So Mark of the Dread Knight is a 6-up Funo Pain, and if you get favored, you get 5 up Funo Pain. And you were saying what, the Beguiling Majesty, right? Yeah,
so Beguiling Majesty. That I believe, if I'm not, actually, I could be wrong on this front. No, I believe this guy is, let's see if I'm right then. It's -1 to be hit and to be wounded in melee. And if you proc your favored tally, it's also a 6-inch aura of -1 attack. Am I right there, Chris?
That is exactly correct.
Hell yes.
Can we get a clap in the chats for Alex's Chaos Knight?
So yeah, this is a nice, interesting Chaos Knights list. I assume that is the correct household. I might have expected, to be honest with this, I forget the name for this one, but there's a counters double wounds bracket. So you are full bracket gaming with Chaos Knights until you drop to 3 wounds. That could be quite good with this mix of ranged and melee.
Yes, but I want to point out that this list has, I think, 300 points of summoning, unless the 700 points given to us as part of this list was because of point changes, but I don't think Chaos Knights changed.
No, they did not get any point changes, or at least definitely not to
300 points worth. No.
Yeah, definitely not to Carnivores or Stalkers. nor the Blood Shield or Mirror.
Oh,
because those
that's
are the ones that I've run and
could
checked.
be Abaddon, actually.
It could.
Yeah,
Do we have a Supreme Command?
I don't see it listed in the list that was given to us. Can we just get a
I
tech
see Abaddon in the middle. There's an Abaddon in the middle.
Yeah,
that
can we
is
get
for
a
Abaddon.
tech piece to confirm that this is the leaked Abaddon that we have been seeing going around?
I'm pretty confident it is. I'm about that. That is cool.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much we can reveal of his rules.
I thought that got previewed or leaked, but maybe not.
I don't know. Can we just get a confirmation from tech priests before I start? I know the data sheet.
Okay, well I don't. So I was going to say I can't leak this. I'm safe. Chris, you're the one with the ethical dilemma. Good luck, my guy.
Yeah. So I'm not. My lips are sealed before until we get a core member, shall we say, someone with the core keyword to come and tell me. That is okay.
So we've got deployment going on. The Harlequins are saying, please don't shoot us, Chaos Knights, and they're hiding all tucked up together behind the two ruins in the deployment zone. The Chaos Knights are like, we don't care, and are lined up. I do slightly question the Mirror of Fate's autocannon knight sitting out in the open. I might have had that guy just tucked away safely to protect your CP, but I suppose...
Oh, that is new about it. He left 300 points in his list. Make room.
Awesome. Lovely. So yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see that autocannon guy hiding out, sort of not tucked behind a ruin, but I guess maybe Steve is saying, Josh, if you want to shoot this guy, you're going to be close to me or burn your once per game fire and fade, and he might just be okay with that. So yeah.
Yeah, I am just searching for the data sheet I saw for Abaddon.
I am going to see if there's any tech priest there. Are you able to confirm? Do we have another stream going on? And I had another question I've forgotten. So hopefully that happens. But if there's another stream table for us to comment on. Oh, we do. Oh, we've got Imperial Knights and we've got some bugs. I don't know if we have lists for these. If we can somehow get access to that, that'd be awesome. But yeah, so we have Hank Adams, I believe it is, prominent Deathwatch player, if I'm not confusing myself. And so he's got 3 Imperial Knights that are just chilling in the middle of the table. This looks like it is mission 1-1, which I should know the name of at this point, but don't. So this,
Abandoned Sanctuaries.
That is not Abandoned Sanctuaries. It is Recover the Relics. Ha! Yeah, okay, so we've got 3 big Imperial Knights just chilling in the middle saying, yo, what's up? We're here to party against some Tyranids. Matt Evans. Matt is just being a monster with his bugs, playing at all hours, all the time, always. So, yeah, all right, we've got a Helverin in the back for Hank. I cannot make out what arms those knights have. I see one of them's got a hat.
We have these lists in chat, so I'm just going to quickly blast through them. I have now found Abaddon's data sheets. When we go back to the Chaos Knights game, I will tell you exactly what Abaddon is going to be doing.
Do you want to take the bugs list, and I'll go check the knights?
Yeah, sure. So Alex casually giving me the longer list there.
Oh, will you take the other one?
That's fine. It's fine. So we're playing. Tech Priest has put us over to the other screen. So we'll just. I'll tell you about Abaddon then. So Abaddon the Despoiler is 300 points. He is 9 wounds, and he can go into basically any Chaos army because he has keywords that let him do that. So he has got all 4 Chaos marks. He's got a rule called Mark of the Chaos Ascendant. So he has each time his model makes a melee attack. If it charged or was charged or performed a heroic intervention stratagem, add 1 to the strength characteristic of that attack. Once per turn, it can ignore the damage from a failed saving throw. Each time attack is made against his model. This is a kind of a weird transhuman thing. So each time an attack is made against his model, if the strength characteristic of that attack either equals or is at least double the toughness characteristic of this model, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So it's kind of a weird defensive thing. So, and if this model starts a fight phase within engagement range, it fights first. So lovely.
So Abaddon cannot be wounded on 2s and 4s, but can be on 3s.
I think so. Not question mark. JPEG.
Because if it's specifically saying equal strength or more than or double or more, so you can't wound them on 2s, you can't wound them on. No, actually, you would be able to wound them on 2s if you've got +1 to wound. Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe. I could be wrong. Oh well.
Yeah. It's all. He also has Dark Destiny. He has a 4% infant save, and on top of his 2-up armor, and cannot lose more than 3 wounds a turn. A phase.
Yeah, and as a character blockable model, that can be a lot to deal with. So, man, Steve is just getting in there, moving up, being aggressive.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he has a 6-inch aura of +1 charge and reroll 1s to hit for all Chaos Core, which is why he's in this list.
I have no idea if there's a core keyword in the Knight's Book. I haven't even looked. I'm going to go see.
Probably. And in your command phase, he can set his core character and gives full rerolls. If his Battle Legion, also gives full wound rerolls. And if this model is in your list, it must be the Warlord, I believe.
Yeah, and so that's actually a nice thing to include with a full War Dog list, because War Dogs, if you have 6 or more of them and not a big knight in the detachment, you don't get your CP refund. But yeah, so if you want to include an Abaddon, he needs to be the Warlord. You don't really care.
Yeah, and Abaddon will still slap in melee and still do a little bit of shooting.
Yeah. And so, yeah, War Dogs do have the core and the chaos keywords. That's cool.
That's why he's in this list.
Yeah, man, that is gaming.
I will point out that his sword no longer hurts him, which is sad. He has learned how to use the sword. He is no longer holding it from the sharp end of the stick.
Drachnia has been tamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It now just does D3 mortal wounds on a 6 roll of a wound.
Yeah. Do you think we've seen?
It does make him strength 9 -4 damage 3.
Yeah. Do we think there's going to be much in the way of shooting? I don't think so, right? I think just Steve is sending all of the Chaos Knights all of the way up. Abaddon is left behind in the backfield to hold an objective. I wouldn't be surprised to see him abandon that entirely and run forward.
It depends if they feel that they need the rerolls, but just remember, you're into light, you can't reroll.
True. I mean, whether Abaddon runs forward and just tries to get, maybe he just plants himself on the middle objective with some War Dogs nearby. Interestingly, though, the Harlequins might be able to one turn him because they're the War Dog on charge and combat, and on the charge phase with the troop.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
should we go back to the other game and run through the lists real quick?
Yeah, that could be cool.
It doesn't look like there's much shooting happening here.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find the lists. Which chat did that get put in?
It's in the backstage thing. So if Tech Priest can put us over to the Imperial Knights game, I will run through the list real fast. So Imperial Knights, we have got a Crusader with a missile hat, 2 Warlord traits, Relic, Master Strategy. I have a Crusader Warlord with Princeps. We have a Gallant with Sanctuary and 3 Armiger. It doesn't say which type. I'm going to assume the melee Armiger and a Helvin. That's all the data we were given. And then the NIDs, we have a full list. We have your Manger NIDs with a squad of Zoes, a squad of a Neurothrope, Old One Eye, 2 squads of 10 Gargoyles, a big old Death Spitter Dual Bone Sword of Geno Gans Turning block, warrior block. That's 9 of them. 2 units of Gene Sealers. Wow. 2 units of Pyrovores, and that's 3 of them, and a single Pyrovore. 3 Venom Thropes, 2 Tyrannofexes, with Rupture Cannon and Acid Spray by the looks of it on the second one, and then a Tyrannocyte, which is the Tyranny Drop Pod.
Yeah.
And there's upgrades in there, but I'm not going to bore you with upgrades.
Those will definitely be 3 Armored Warglaives based on the points. So they'll have Stubber, Chain Cleaver, and their slightly better multi-melter gun.
Yep.
Yeah, Gallant on Sanctuary makes sense. Perma 4-up invol on the melee knight. The Crusader, So the Crusader with Princeps, so he's going to be giving +1 to hit out to the other Crusader, who I think there's an error in that list actually. Table Boss or someone. I don't think that list is actually quite right. I don't know if you can give 2 Warlord traits to not the Warlord, and the Princeps Knight is accurately marked as the Warlord. I'm going to go read that stratagem and check, which is probably important, because I assume the Crusader wants to be having the House Tyrannus Warlord trait of you can turn something into a 6, and 6 is the wound, do an initial mortal wound, which coupled with the stratagem, which you'll be able to make free, can just poop out a ridiculous number of mortal wounds at range. I'm going to go read some things.
Whilst Alex goes read some things and the power pod comes down to do some damage onto the knights, I'm going to tell you about the 3 knight secondaries that we're taking, because we have Action Knight, Knight Strangle, and Third Knight as secondaries. So we've got Yield No Ground, sums up as hold half or more of the objectives, don't move backwards, and keep things out of your deployment zone, and you get 3 victory points per turn. We have got Honor the House, which is keeping up your honor points. So if you have 6, or more honor points, you
I've got these in front of me, Chris, if you want.
I also have them in front of me.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, so at the end of the battle round, if you have 6 honor points, or if you have more honor points than you had at the start of the battle round, score 2 victory points. In addition, at the end of the battle, score 3 additional victory points if your army is virtuous, or 2 additional if it's honored, and if you are dishonored, you go down by 3. And then renew the oaths, be in the middle, do an action, 3 victory points if it's a non-titanic, 4 victory points if it is titanic, additional victory point if it's a character, and on a d6, on a roll of a 4+, you get an honor point on top of all those lovely victory points. So basically, what happens is a knight gallant with the Irvine runs forward, who has no guns anyway, and just goes action, 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 action.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I don't know if there's a take priest there, but I'm pretty confident that you can't actually put the second Warlord trait on the non-Princeps Knight. So it's one of the things that's annoying that you can't quite get that combo with. But yeah, so an amusing thing about this Pyropod going behind Hank there is some of your conditions for the Knight Stranglehold equivalent is you're not meant to run backwards, and you want to clear your deployment zone. Fortunately for him, you can't score that in your first turn, so he can run something backwards to start dealing with that Pyropod, clear it, and then it's going to want to be continuing on forwards on its way. So could work out okay for him there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really going to mess up with the Knights' game plan, but of course, Knights with guns are typically long range, so they should be able to just walk ever so slightly forward, send the idiot with the invent up, and tell him to go and press a button.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what guns those Crusaders have. If they have the thermal cannon, they'll be able to mosey on over, get within half range of those Pyrovores, and 2d3 shots that'll be hitting on. I could check the strength of them. They'll be hitting on good. Wounding on 2s or 3s, ignoring saves, and automatically doing d6 plus 4 damage to pop those 5 wound Pyrovores. So, yep. The thermal cannon is strength 9, so it'll only be winning on 3s, but still, pretty good odds to clear some Pyrovores quite efficiently.
And this high fleet is one of our lesser seen high fleets. This is a Jormungandr. Jormungandr. So basically, if you're 18 inches away, you get dense cover when being shot at by a this is for your monster units. And if you are 12 inches away, targeted by a ranged attack, and you're not a monster, you get dense cover. So it's all about B-1 to hit, which will help against the Knights.
Yeah. So is it Jormungandr? Sponsored by Ironbrew. It's made of girders. Is that right? Have I got that right, Chris?
I cannot believe you just said all those things.
How was my accent? How was my accuracy?
It's about as accurate as an orc.
Well, that hurts. I thought that was something with Ironbrew. Am I just way off? Please enlighten me.
No. Ironbrew's the thing. It's just that terrible accent.
Oh, look, that's fair. Look, it's late for me. I'm going to blame that. Definitely not my inability to do a Scottish accent.
And Jormungandr can also do the whole virgin weight deep striking things, so maybe they can do something with that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Shall we have it? So it looks like the power pod's going to come down, just do some damage, maybe kill a baby knight or wound the gallant if it decides to shoot that. Shall we have a check on the other game though?
Yeah. So what do we got? Okay, so the Harlequins are moving up. Oh, so we've got the Voidweaver squads. Voidweavers, the bikes. They are move blocking the Chaos Knights around the edge.
Skyweavers.
Yeah, bikes. Voidweavers are the gun things that are sitting at the back. Yeah. Yeah. So it makes sense. The Harlequin player has walled off all three of the sort of choke points that the Knights need to move through. So be one of the reasons where House Corvax would have been lovely if they had access to it, but yeah. So the bikes really clogging up where things are going to be able to move.
Yeah, those warlocks are going to struggle to get through. But there are some character warlocks in there? No, they don't get character for taking the. No, there is a character warlock.
Yeah, so if you hand out a warlord trait, if you hand out a warlord trait to a Chaos Knight, they will gain the character keyword. It doesn't work handing out relics anymore. But yeah. So I'll go double check which one that is and see if we can work out.
It's the one with the blood shield.
Okay. Yep.
So blood shield has got his character Traitoris Lance, and so the Queens need to be careful not to walk into that accidentally and give them a free intervention.
Yeah, but I think I see all three of the carnivores have just aggressively run up. So I imagine Josh will be prioritizing that Warglaive War Dog, and taking it down.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Curie in the chat in YouTube says Chris is just jealous that Alex sounds more Scottish than him. It is true.
Thanks, Curie,
very Scottish in the accent.
Yeah, that would be a good test, wouldn't it? Curie, is my Scottish accent good to your very well-trained Canadian ear? Yeah. And I maybe made Nurgle Matthew smile. I hope that's what made him smile. That would make me smile as well.
I think it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Harlequins definitely have a lot of melta, definitely have a lot of good quality shooting, but the majority of it will be winning on fives. But the good thing is they do have the mortal wounds in there as well from the Neuro Disruptors. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Certainly, those Star Bowlers winning on fours will help out as well.
Yeah, for sure. I am definitely not missing that sentence because I'm Googling something to send to you to prove a point.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So yeah, have we seen any models disappear, Chris, while I've been distracted with Google?
I think we've maybe seen one Wargrave go down. To be honest, my pen is broken. I've been writing down notes about these games, and I was trying to fix it.
Alrighty, I'm going to go make sure I've got lists open so we can count how many are on the list and how many should be missing. But I don't think any have gone down yet by the looks of things.
No, I see 2 Hellburners hanging back.
You do not, sir. You see 1 Wardog Executioner and 1 Wardog Brigand. There was only 1 Executioner.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just an edgelord with different names.
Yeah, I'll get you.
Just because you stick a singular spike doesn't mean you get to rename everything.
It does if your name is James Workshop. Yeah, all right. So there is some Harlequin shooting going on. We will see what goes away. Yeah, so where are we seeing? It looks like all the transports have aggressively moved up as well. They're probably banking on the fact that with where the knights are positioned and so where the guns are, where the bikes are move blocking, that the Chaos Knights won't be able to get that many guns into position to open the transports.
Yep.
And definitely not to open the transports then hit the contents. So What they can do is they can probably shoot bikes out of the way, charge transports, but not be able to get to the juicy troop inside, which is probably just the breathing room Josh is giving himself.
Yeah, it's the one thing about those carnivores is that when they do, like, they have no guns, they have some supports. That's not going to be enough to help you pop transports, and if you can't see them with your actual big guns, it's going to be difficult to get in there and destroy transports and the contents in one turn, which is the trick to any combat army. Sorry, to any transport-based army, is do that. Should we have a brief discussion about the secondaries? Because we haven't done that for this game yet.
Yeah, for sure. So Steve's, it's not that surprising. Steve's secondary choice. So he's gone for Ruthless Tyranny, which is Chaos Knight Stranglehold. It is just literally better than Stranglehold. He may have even got 4 points for that turn one. Yeah, no, in fact, he definitely will have done, because every objective is within dread range, so that gets him a point. At least half of the objectives are controlled by Chaos Knights. Oh, yep. One of those carnivores did touch the top right objective, so at least half of the objectives are controlled by Chaos Knight models. Despite, because Abaddon doesn't count, and it's actually irrelevant now.
Yep.
And then at least the same half of those objective markers are within dread range, because all of them are. So does Abaddon have the Agent of Chaos keyword then, I suppose, to...
Yes, it does.
Right, so that allows them to continue to take the Chaos Knight secondaries. That's quite cool.
He has. It's the same keyword as that. You can recruit one of these things without messing everything up.
Yeah, and so Storm of Darkness is the Chaos Knights action secondary. Can be done in the Chaos Knights to player's morale phase. You sit on an objective and curse it or desecrate. Yeah, that would be the opposite of consecrate. And it completes at sometime in your psychic phase. I haven't run an Abominant, so I'm not sure whether it's the start or the end. Sorry. So then you're free to shoot and charge if you've got something relevant nearby.
Yeah.
And so you get 3 points for each of that each time you do that. It's capped at 12 functionally, because you only have 4 command phases where you can have it complete. But it's quite nice because you get most of a knight's activation for it, and so you can also go in, clear an objective off, then start to basically curse that objective.
And those objectives also provide a -1 leadership or a helping your Chaos Knight shenanigans.
For sure, helping that. Yeah, and so actually on that note, I wonder if when we come to what I would actually love to see Josh do is, because I believe those are they 2 bike strong, or at least in the middle there might be a 2 bike strong unit of Harlequin bikes, or maybe they're all 3s. But I would love to see him try and double tap Ravenous Terror Shades. No, sorry, single tap Ravenous Terror Shades, because in the Harlequin player morale phase, where basically you pointed a unit within 12, I believe, of a Terror Shades model, which is carnivores or stalkers.
It looks like we just had a knight blow up in the middle of the Harlequin army, by the way.
Yep, that makes sense. You can auto explode a Chaos Knight, Spiteful Demise, I believe it is. So that's picked up one of the bikes. So that's actually massive. That'll open up the and cause trouble with the move block that Josh had set up. I would love now for him to double down and go to try and Terror Shades, maybe the middle, to hope to go big and open that move block up, or just focus on the same bike squad up there, because I don't know a Harlequin bike's leadership, but it'll be 1 less right now, and then they'll roll 2d6 for every point above the leadership they roll. They take a mortal wound. So it's within the realms of possibility to spike high and maybe pick up the last couple of bikes.
Harlequin's leadership 8.
Okay, so they'll be down to 7. That might get a bike if you're lucky, but that auto explode was a really, really good play by.
It may have also just been a natural blow up.
It may have been, but given that the proximity of that knight, I expect he would have spent a CP on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
so quickly touch on the Harlequins though, and their secondaries.
For sure.
Harlequins. Right, but the last one, Chaos Knight, is Assassinate, so that's going to max out at 11. At 10.
Hang on. Yeah.
At 10.
Yeah.
My bad.
So kill the 3 characters.
It's a decent choice, I would say. So the only one to really note is Deadly Performance hasn't changed that much from previous, which is surprising. I think if anything, it's been buffed, but I don't know it too well, so I can't identify it from looking at the book only. So it's basically at the end of your turn, if you do 2 of the following things, you get 3 points. So one of them is control an objective that you didn't control at the start of your turn with a Harlequins unit, aka play Harlequins and play the game.
Which they've achieved because that Chaos Knight was obsec touching the top left objective, and now it's dead, and there's the transport on it.
A Harlequins unit is wholly within your opponent's deployment zone, not this turn, but next turn probably. Some random Star Weaver.
Yep, especially with behind enemy lines. That seems like maybe the single unit of troop could be. Can you deep strike with Eldar? I'm not sure, but yeah, they could be planning to pop back there.
The Railway Ambush or something like that.
Yeah.
2 or more enemy units were destroyed by an attack with a ranged weapon this turn. We've already seen 1 go down to shooting.
Yep. Play Bon Jovi because we're halfway there.
Yep, and I think we may have a second one going down because the other knight who is kind of hugging that top left objective is looking pretty low. And lastly, it's the same again, but with melee, which would be a bit harder this game. Into the knights.
Yeah, for sure. Is that 2 or is it 3 in melee? Nope. Because I'm pretty sure it used to be 3.
2.
Okay, so yeah, I think that is a buff to the secondary because, which that's an interesting.
Yourself, so I'm just going to double check. 2 or more, yeah.
Okay, I could also just be wrong and have misremembered that.
Yeah. Did they buff behind enemy lines, or did it just that everyone's taking it because the Stranglehold is gone?
I don't know. Well, I could imagine Harlequin's taking it because it pairs well with Deadly Performance, right? If you've got 2 secondaries, both benefiting from being in your opponent's DZ, then that's really pretty good. Like Stranglehold was so good because it just you got points for playing the game because you wanted to do the primary trading, take people off sort of game, right? If you weren't scoring Stranglehold, your opponent is likely getting it was a 15 in the old missions or 12 in the less old Nuckman missions.
So yeah. It hasn't changed, but they've kept the whole thing where when it was originally released at the start of the edition, it was 2 units you had to have there to get the 4 points. Now it's score 2 if you have 1 unit, and if you have 2 or more units, you score 4.
Yeah, for sure. That's been a thing for a while, but just very rarely is that going to be better than the alternative Stranglehold,
which is now RIP.
Yep. Unless you're Chaos Knights, then you have better Stranglehold. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it looks like we had one of the transports because I'm not going to choose the right combination of Star, Void, Weaver, and some other combinations. Yeah, look, I said I'm not going to get it right, okay?
I did.
Okay, good job. Pat yourself on the back for me. And then pat Nara on the back because she is a great dog.
Nara, come here.
So while we're getting off topic, should we get back on topic and talk about why we're here, Chris?
Yes, we are here for to raise money for Towse Play, which is an amazing charity. It's an international charity. In at the very least, I know of US, Canada, UK, and Australia. And what they do is they go and provide entertainment systems, video games, board games, toys to children's hospitals and domestic abuse shelters to make the kids feel better whilst they're going through some pretty tough times. And mostly because a happy kid recovers faster and is one happier. Who doesn't love that? So you can donate by going to the links down in the doobly-doo down below and over to charityhammer.com and donate what you can. If you cannot donate, please share what we're doing. Please tell your friends to come watch this amazing 40k content, all using the new rules. And you may be able to win some prizes, which Alex is going to tell you about.
I sure am. So yeah, I'm not sure if Chris got this. I have been autopilot listening to this spiel a lot. But yeah, you should tactically donate in increments of $30 because every $30 gets you a raffle ticket.
Yes,
and you should also tactically donate as soon as possible because each donation is not equally valuable. The earlier ones will get you in more draws and give you a better chance to win some amazing prizes. So throughout the event, you'll be winning amazing prizes to contribute to your pile of potential or potentially start a new army in the form of many various different Games Workshop and possibly other products. And so these have often been lovingly donated by people wanting to support the event beforehand. And yeah, so then that is some of the stuff just given away throughout the event. And the main event caps off with 2 amazing prizes, each of which really could be considered the main prize. One of them is a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games. So Hammerhead Games stocks everything Games Workshop, or will order in from their website anything that they don't have. So that could be a whole new army. It could be multiple new armies, depending on which you choose. And yeah, or if you want, you could go for a new system. They stock Marvel Crisis Protocol, Star Wars Legion, Outward Realms from our very own Michael Timpey at Charity Hammer, and probably some other stuff, trading card games and such. If that's not up your alley, you could instead hope to win. Maybe you've got a bunch of models, but they're not painted. You could hope to win the other prize, which the other sort of grand prize. Sean Naden, captain of Team America, Mr. Gets all the 20-0s at WTC. Captain of Team America, perpetual Renaissance man, it seems. He will paint you your army. Will commission paint an army of your choosing. Yeah. And so it's almost rude how good Sean is at both playing the game and painting. So it's a really amazing prize. There's a lot of people that think this should be the main prize over the Hammerhead Games one, because man, is it some value.
Yeah.
How am I doing, Chris? Am I forgetting something?
You are definitely doing an amazing job, and there's one other prize to mention, which is the top donor prize, which you get a signed set of the Charity Hammer 4 objective markers, making it incredibly unique. And as we go into the Chaos Knight movement phase, we're going to actually quickly pivot away from this game to go check on the Imperial Knights Nids matchup. So if the Tech Priest, hey, there we go. Oh boy, Knights have moved up. But
Be
notably,
aggressive. Aggressive.
One Knight has moved towards the back end of the table, which means that's going to cost them some points. But if it means dealing with those pesky little pyrovores down there, then I think it's worth it.
Well, I think actually, so that knight will be getting I assume it'll be bondsman, so it'll be -1 damage to limit the higher damage pyrovore flame. Also, if this is turn 1, they don't actually suffer from man, I'm forgetting words. They don't lose any points because you cannot score that secondary in turn 1.
It was
so
changed.
Sorry,
I think it was changed, wasn't it?
I don't know. You have the most up-to-date book. Do you want to check? But yeah, I believe they can't score at turn 1, and therefore should be safe. But regardless, they need to clear the deployment zone. Sorry?
You can score turn 1.
Okay. That's interesting.
This is the one trick that this is going to do into you of this kind of caliber. So if you clear it out now, you don't have to deal with it later. So it's better to just sacrifice that 1 point of that secondary to get rid of those pyrovores, because otherwise they're just going to eat away at your armorers all game.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, not really eat away, more spit acid away at pyrovores. Yes, but yeah, the 3 knights in the middle of the table are definitely very menacing. Probably you're going to have the melee knight doing the action in there, and the 2 shooting knights firing their lasers in all directions.
Yeah, or I do actually wonder, since the big knights don't benefit from the obscuring keyword, I actually think that the front knight is probably the gallant, and so that probably used full tilt to just auto advance 6, be all the way up there. That would make sense why it moved a bit further. One of the then shooting knights might have just moved up and is doing the action itself, since it might not have that many valid targets.
Yes, and each time those big knights do the action is 5 points, because it'd be
yeah, and I believe that's also the warlord doing it, if it was the princeps one, and then the one with the missile hat is doing it otherwise, which, you know, if all he can see is a few gene stealers, it's not really that great of a target with their invul for a knight to shoot. You don't always enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely the right choice for Matt piloting the Tyranids to use the power pod to alpha strike, do as much damage as possible with the damage to flamers, before those bondsmen start getting tucked out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because also with the move and the range, with the move and the range of some of those knights, you can get zoned out pretty quickly from a large area of the backfield. So yeah, it'll be early on.
Yeah. For any of you who do not know, the buffs that the big knights give out to the little knights also gives them -1 damage taken.
Yeah. So in the command phase, each sort of Titanic big knight can hand out 1 or 2, depending on if they have been upgraded with pace and points upgrade. And so the 2 big knights will be able to hand out, the 2 crusaders can hand out +1 to hit at range to 2 knights each. One of them can hand out to the other crusader, has been upgraded. And the gallant gives that +1 to hit in melee. But yeah, when under the effects of that, an armiger, a baby knight, will get -1 damage.
Yeah. Or as someone said to me, is basically you're having 2 Talos stapled together and having the Imperial Quilla stamped on the chest in terms of wounds, which is disgusting.
Yeah, there's a slight difference in they don't have, a melee invul or feel no pain, but there are potential builds to sort of hand out in an AoE a 5-up feel no pain and a -1 damage advance and charge aura, which can be pretty fun.
House Tyrannus, which is I think the preferred house, the household for knights, which gives you the 6-up feel no pain.
Yeah, which
and also
which I would expect Hank to be playing with this.
Yeah. Well, we'll know when we see a knight stand back up.
For sure, that's another big part of House Tyrannus is on a 4-up. You can bring a knight back on 3 wounds.
Yes, or you could be House Raven, which lets him advance and charge on shoot and charge and stuff like
that. It's advance and shoot. If you want to advance and charge knights, if you want to, and I believe they also ignore modifiers to that now, to the advance to some extent. If you want to advance a charge with Imperial Knights, you need an errant, which can hand it out in the command phase. To an armiger.
We have no errant.
Yeah.
In this
we do have some pyropods going down. One of them explodes, and so we'll be able to see if that's in Mechanicus house. I don't know if that was a feel no pain roll or not. We'll see wound counters coming along.
Is that 5 remaining on that armiger there now?
It might be. Maybe there was some Overwatch.
It also
if he's
looks
charging Pyrovores, because
It also looks like there's one Gene Stealer alive on the bottom right objective, which is a huge swing.
Is that a Gene Stealer or is it a Hormagaunt, I wonder?
It's some little annoying bug.
Yeah, because I think the Gene Stealers are on the top left. So, but yeah, I had not noticed that.
There were 2 units. There's 2 units of 5 Gene Stealers.
Yeah. That looks like more than 5 on the top left, but maybe I'm probably just wrong there. Yeah, man, that'll be a really big swing if that little Gribbly stays alive, because I believe that'll have Matt scoring a 12 if it passes morale.
I think so, yes.
And it'll also cost Hank a point on the primary for not getting that kill point, because at the moment he'll just be sitting on the 1 for the pod. Hopefully, he'll be hoping that Warglaive can kill one of the Pyrovore units, but it might be a slightly tough ask. You'd need a hit and wound with all his attacks, hitting on probably on 2s. The Gallant probably handed that out unless it's bracketed. Wounding on 2s. It might happen, we'll see.
Nemazor's Zandrek over on Twitch is saying Raven is advanced and shoot, ignoring modifiers and counts as stationary, and the 2 armigers are painted as House Raven. Don't rely on the paint schemes too much, because a lot of the models are borrowed and smashed together to make lists, because these players arrived with no idea of what the data set at the points are going to bring. And then they've mashed together lists and neck-breaking speed to try and bring you the most accurate and relevant content that we can. So also forgive us if we make rose mistakes and things like that as well, because we are still adjusting. And it would be perfect if Charity Hammer happened a week from now, as Colin was saying at the start. But that's not the world that we live in. We're doing it this week, and we're doing it live.
So it means you get to see the bleeding edge of competitive content, possibly bleeding as people, cut themselves on the rough edges of their lists. But yeah, it is as new as possible. It's some great players trying to build and test the hard way some lists with the new pack.
It looks like Hank was able to take out a couple more Paravores. That Knight is now standing in the open. I don't think that Knight has done his consolidation move yet, so that Knight definitely should be tagging that Paravore to control where its damage can go. But as he added the scores, shall we head back to the other game?
Yeah, sure. Assuming we have a Tech Priest, a Machine Spirit of the stream to help us out. All right.
Oh boy.
So the Chaos Knights have been aggressive. They are, so they're charging the transports on the bottom left objective because they couldn't get them out of the way. I assume something is. Is he all the way on the? Wow. Yep. Abaddon got right in there.
Yeah.
So I assume Abaddon's moved through the wall because I think he's still an infantry model. Made his charge. I now assume activated, piled, and consolidated around to just be as far forward as possible, saying, "Go on, try get through my wound gate."
Abaddon is still infantry. I can confirm.
Alrighty.
And it's kind of just as you were saying, Alex. They're able to shoot the bikes and not so much the transports, and now the transports are being popped, and the infantry are just kind of going to be standing there maybe a little bit shell shocked as they're staring as Abaddon and two war dogs are staring them right in the face and going, "Hello, my praise."
Yeah, and on that note, we have a transport getting opened up. So I expect that at the back, those three will be the Void Weavers, the heavy support Harlequins unit. So they probably burnt the now once per game Fire and Fade, I would assume, to pop out, shoot, and duck back.
I think they had an angle on the Slaughter Claw or whatever it was up at the top right, the top left objective.
Oh, okay. That could also do it. Although that would be risky because then they would have been fired upon in return with after that explosion. Although maybe those knights would have tried to pop open the transports that were right in front of them.
I think you'd be willing to take because of the once per game, you can work the angles where only a couple of knights would be able to shoot. And certainly with things like that Star Weaver now in front of that objective, that line of sight might become a bit more challenging to actually obtain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nemazor Zandrick over on Twitch. Abaddon is not a monster, poor G-Man. Yeah, G-Man has gone down in points, which is nice, but he's still a monster, which makes him a lot more awkward to use.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and so Curie and YouTube at some point did clarify our question about what is it called, deadly performance. It got buffed. Interesting decision to buff this the secondary that Harlequins were always taking and scoring well on, but hey.
That's GW.
Yeah.
Well, I think the issue was that they still have Harlequin stock, so that can't happen.
Yeah, I still don't buy that. Look, I can understand, to be honest. They probably expected Harlequins to be a bit more of a melee faction performance than actually were, but it turns out they usually shoot a bit better.
Looks like we have another tin can of Harlequins being opened up, and they actually need to be really careful before they start getting tagged and stuff. Because mind you, they can fall back and shoot the Harlequins. They ignore rules.
Yeah, usually that was the Knight's job, where the big Knights just do what they want. They fall back, move over stuff, shoot and charge. Uno reverse guard this time. These guys can get move blocked, but the Harlequins do what they want.
Yes. And but you still don't want to go into engagement and take a bunch of damage for free.
Yeah, for sure.
It's only going to be strength 5 with the special weapons, so it's not horrible. But
yeah, well, I think they've only got the 2 special weapons. The other ones will be. Are they strength 3 or strength 4 with the regular Harlequin blade? Do you know? Does it give a +1?
I will check. But the point is why risk it when it gives you no benefit?
Yeah.
Because there is always that one chance. Harlequin blades are chain swords, so they just give an extra attack nowadays, and AP1.
Right, and so there'll be strength 3, wounding on 6s, unless Harlequins have got a base strength 4.
the Harlequin special weapons are all +1, -2 damage too, so they're all strength 4 for the
Okay.
special weapon.
So they've only got a couple of guys hitting that aren't wounding on 6s, so that's a bit rough.
But it's damage too, so you know.
Yeah. Although
It's-
Chaos
it's
Knights do
still-
have a -1 damage stratagem, so
Yeah. It's still a case of why risk it for low chocolate biscuit.
Yeah.
The Chaos Knights are really turning the screws into these Harlequins. They're kind of penned in, but they have also left the middle of the board completely undefended. And if the Harlequins can maybe just jump over and play switcheroo a little bit and just start to take over the Chaos Knights half of the board, they might start to really feel it in return.
Yeah, the thing is, if they want to be on any of the objectives, they're almost just going to be in striking distance because, like, the scouring is so closed in. They've picked up 4 of 11 Chaos Knights in their first turn, so there's still 7 left.
Yeah.
And there's an Abaddon, like, up in the Chaos Knights deployment zone. This feels not good if you're the Harlequins player, I think. Right, because with the damage done by the Chaos Knights this turn, maybe the Harlequin characters go in big and can do some damage here, but I don't know. I think the Harlequin clackback here is really going to define how the game goes.
Yes, it's the one thing for sure is that the Harlequins just can't stand around and get hit. I think they do need to make that fighting retreat, take the chances on some charges failing, things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, if they get far enough away, then suddenly the shooting into the Harlequins will be as effective.
That is true.
Yeah. Shall we pan over to the other game?
I think so. I think it'll be more interesting in this game. We'll just see how many things disappear because it's a quite granular number of Chaos Knights left.
Yeah.
So what are we seeing here? We're seeing bugs. Are they retreating? They're definitely moving. That is down the bottom there. That Tyrannifex has moved quite quickly forwards. I thought that was behind the rock on the
It could
left.
have also just been coming from Deep Strike.
True.
Because your Manger does that. They're all about burrowing in tunnels and sticky bugs. But yes, the big guns quite literally have come out to play now.
Yeah. And so I wonder if this is another bait to sort of go behind and slow the Imperial Knights down, or
I think
force them to deal with stuff behind them and in their deployment zone.
The Brick of Turn and Warriors coming in from reserve as well now. I think the Knights could probably play it where if they get long enough charge, they could maybe get round the base of that big monster and end up further ahead than they were. But I think most likely they'll just touch onto that obscuring lava rock and shoot through into the big monster and then charge the warriors.
Yeah, well, do we know, are there some Zoanthropes? I didn't thoroughly read the turn.
There are some Zoes. I think they're in the bottom left and they have the yellow brains.
Actually, no, I think those are those not Venomthropes, and maybe the very bottom left is a Zoanthrope? Or is that a Neuro?
That's a Neurothrope. We have Neurothropes, Zoanthropes, and Venomthropes. We have all the Thropes.
Yeah. My thought was those yellow bits were Venomthropes, but I could, of course, be wrong.
Doanator 9001 said Abaddon's new rules makes you hopeful that Gilman will get a massive blow up. Well, the guy just went down like 50-80 points. So
it was 80 points, 380 down to 300 on the nose.
Yeah, which is a pretty big buff. The issue is you're going to be losing Super Doctrines when you take him because he hasn't got the right keywords yet. So if G-Man could get that kind of like Agent of Chaos thing where you don't like once he's like within Marines, you don't mess with his Super Doctrines, that would be a big increase for him because it's just he gets that bigger reroll aura range. But
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Space Marine 2.0 kind of like early next year.
Yeah. I have seen people floating ideas of stuff like G-Man with Custodes Dreads, because, oh no, I've lost my Qatar stances that the Dreads don't get anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I actually said to our Knights player for Team 42 Scotland, hey, you should take G-Man now, he's cheap. And I went, wait a minute, I play bandages, don't take G-Man. I almost paid myself.
Yeah. Congratulations, Chris.
Yeah, so big brick of warriors coming in. They're going to pose a pretty big problem if they hit this charge for the Knights, because that's a lot of strength, like 5 or 6. So winning on 5s, damage to AP2 saves, which is kind of like Knights don't like to see that kind of profile.
Yeah, I mean, so the AP2 is at least the Knights get a little bit of a reprieve there, but yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable odds they make that charge as well, because if they can shoot the Knights with a Synapse creature, by the way, Warriors are Synapse, then I believe you can get +2 to charge, maybe also a 3d6 drop the lowest, which starts getting pretty reliable.
I think we've just seen that card go down. I'm not sure if that stops Overwatch, because if he charges the wrong Knight, and it's the one with the Warlord trait to do 6s to do mortal wound, and it's got a lot of shots, suddenly you could be in a world of pain very quickly.
Yeah, that's true, but it's like there's not auto hitting. It is not my beloved Megara Overwatch that will really put the fear into a Tyranid Warrior Brick with auto hitting 3 damage wounding on 2's Flamers and Tesla 3 damage AP2 lightning cannons. Yep. I need to have another go with it. You know what? I am excited to try a free bleed list that I had with the Megara to auto advance and advance and charge. I think I need to give that a go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's something to note here that the Bucks are still pretty conservative. Like, they're not leading up with everything. They haven't sent the squad of Gene Seers or whatever it is up in the top left to go over to the top right and start harassing that Wargrave there. So they're still biding their time, seeing what the Knights do, trying to come in behind the Knights as much as possible, which is the direction the Knights do not want to be heading into.
Yeah, for sure. I would need to check. I wonder if the head backwards and the don't fall back are the same category for that Knight Stranglehold. I'm just having a look now. But if that's the case, maybe just tagging the Knights and hiding behind them doesn't. That's probably okay. You probably just go, yeah, I'm going to try score 4 points a turn for this and max that out anyway.
I've got it here for you, mate.
I am also reading it myself. Yeah, so they need to, if they fall back or move further backwards, then that loses one of the potentially 5 points per turn available, I believe. So then, how many points per turn? Sorry,
3 max per turn.
Okay.
Because you can
okay.
They've made it 3.
Right, that makes sense. So yeah, okay. So you need to do that every battle round, but yeah. So they'll probably just accept. Look, we're going to go for the 2-point categories, and we'll just accept the fact that we can fall back and do things, and try and clear your own deployment zone. But actually, I believe Hank, he didn't clear out all the pyrovores and did move backwards, so he won't be able to get that max.
And also, if you look at the very, very top right of your screen, you will see a bunch of gargoyles or something there.
For sure. And the bottom left. So actually, yeah, Matt might do a pretty good job. He might hold Hank at this rate to a 10 on that secondary, which for something that you consider to be usually pretty good for a 15. That's a nice effort.
Yeah. It's so important, and this is what a lot of, I think, newer players do, is they don't deny their opponent's points. They only worry about scoring themselves, and that is fine. That will get you certainly a distance into tournament play, but when you get to the top levels, you need to start thinking about how can I actively stop my opponent scoring points.
For sure, and I mean that'll be your experience with the 20-0 differential for WTC showing, right, Chris?
Oh yeah, like hugely. Like there's in WTC, we have a thing called the race to 50. If you score 50 points, which is really only 40 points because of pages score, you will always bring at least 1 point home to your team, no matter what happens in that game. So you'll see a lot of players start to like deny opponent points. It's like, rather than using this character, I'm going to run him away so you don't get 3 points on assassinate, for example, and that means you may cap out at 48 points, depending on your
conversely,
other secondaries.
Or conversely, maybe you'll run your characters to some really killy melee unit because your opponent's taken psychic interrogation. You can't interrogate characters if they're dead.
Or put them into reserve, or do just anything. Like as soon as I see psychic interrogation, I think, how can I mess with this game? Like, do I need my characters? And the answer is often no, I don't.
Yeah. So what have we? Yeah, after getting sidetracked, what have we got going on here? We have Tyranid's shooting phase still, do we think?
Yes, I think there's loads of shooting, but I think, is that a multi-charge being declared there? Using the hordes of the beast, and there's an Overwatch coming in. So let's see if I'm right, and Overwatch can maybe devastate those Terran warriors. They do have cover, for what it's worth. They do. They're all in cover.
Yeah, although there is also at least one flamer attached to each of these Crusaders, because they are both Crusaders, both have Avenger Gatling cannons with a built-in heavy flamer. So, 2D, if it's a multi-char, no, it'll only be D6. But yeah, D6 hits, or winning on 4s, 4-up saves.
Yeah,
might, But it'll be the big guns hitting that we're looking for.
It depends if he has the ability now to do the make the 3 CP stratagem cost nothing. I'm not sure if you can do that. We'll have to see the damage that comes out.
From memory, it's once per game you can make that free, and I would assume it's only shooting phase, so I don't think it's coming in Overwatch. Plus, that'll be spiking 6s into 6s. You're spending 4 CP at that point, 1 for Overwatch, 3 for the strat.
Or potentially 3 or 1 if it is free. I'm just going to check that whilst this Overwatch is being rolled out.
Okay, sure. So yeah, just waiting to see if any models get pulled or wound counters get put down. We've got 1 warrior dead, and 1 has taken a wound. So there was maybe a 6 to wound in there, and an immortal wound taken. Yeah, just waiting to see what comes next. And yeah, so soon. This looks like it might have been a charge roll, or maybe a number of shots from a battle cannon. So yeah, sorry guys. We'll soon see either some models removed or making a charge, and then I guess await impatiently to see how much damage the knights take.
So the Master Tactician upgrade, which I think we have on one of the knights here.
Yep, we do.
It's once per battle when using Imperial Knight's battle tactic stratagem. If the model you selected has that battle tactic stratagem and is under the effect of the bondsman ability, it costs 0. So it's not linked to any phase. It can just happen as long as you have the bondsman on that knight.
For sure, but I don't think the stratagem will work in the Overwatch.
I will check that now.
Yeah. I'm also flipping through to see. So it is in your shooting phase, so you cannot use that stratagem.
Oh well.
Yep.
Still, I mean, 1 CP to fire all those guns before maybe it's taken down, kills off a few, probably you survive then.
Yep. So the warriors have made the charge. It looks like it is a multi-charge. He's hitting both.
Yep.
And so I wonder here if, to avoid the heroic intervention, I wonder if Matt here is going to try charge both and then pile himself out of combat with one of the 2 knights. It's a pretty neat, fun combat trick you can do. If you charge a knight, you can stop it heroically intervening. Or if charge near any character.
Charging the gallant up front.
Oh yeah. So the Tyranids have a fight
going.
We've got the lava theme going. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you
we
think
don't have a paladin. We can't say, you are my brother, paladin.
do you think the Thunderstomp stratagem for Knights is going to come in handy when dealing with these warriors?
Maybe it'll be hitting on 4s, 5s if they're bracketed on the interrupt. Doing a handful of mortal wounds. It could be useful, but I'll be honest, I can't see it being the be all and end all.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, you can basically make your number of attacks with your feet instead, and you can subtract 1 from the hit roll, and for every hit you get, just does 2 more wounds to the target.
Yeah. It could be worthwhile, but I think actually the -1 to hit compared to just wounding and having them take 6-up saves on the warriors, I don't know if it's actually going to be a whole bunch more effective. I suppose the mortal wounds do carry over and don't splash. But yeah, so I guess I want to wait and see. I almost don't want to see how much damage the warriors can do to a knight. As someone who has knights and a friend with Tyranid warriors, I kind of hope this knight lives.
More than 1 damage, but less than 28, I think.
Yeah, 26 will be the number of wounds these knights have stock if they are a Mechanics knight. And I'm assuming the House Tyrannus, so we'll have a 6-up Feel No Pain just to help keep them alive. So yeah,
I'm not sure what's
we
being
have
rolled into here, but a CP has been spent for the Tyranids.
Do you happen to know Tyranid stratagems? Any idea what these might be? Oh, that looks like a pretty solid wound roll. Do they have access to a +1 to wound, maybe?
Potentially.
Good chat.
I'm looking it up, man. I need time to.
I believe you. No, it's
to search through my definite book. I have in front of me.
For sure. All right. Maybe we'll see some dice put down as wound counters. That looks like a Feel No Pain roll. Maybe. Oh, okay. So this looks like it's old One Eye going into the Gallant off the bat, which that makes sense because the interrupt from the Crusaders, you're probably not expecting to do much more than maybe lose a warrior, maybe 2. I wonder, is there a Death Leaper in this list that could maybe be in there tying up the preventing an interrupt?
The Knights only have 1 command point. So that's why there's no interrupt. They had 2 before Overwatch.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
And I think they were considering that maybe Overwatch is more valuable than interrupting.
Yeah, or in the case of the old One Eye charge, maybe a CP was saved for re-rolling a 4-up invul against some of his big attacks. I don't know. I know it is. Yeah, I know. Often popular opinion is that the command point reroll generally isn't worth using much as a stratagem, other than maybe for a charge or key psychic test. But when you've got such a big model, and if you're able to spare things for big damage, re-rolling a 4-up invul save can sometimes make a difference over the game.
Yeah. So a couple of things from chat. How fast on Twitch say is this high feet Behemoth have +1 to psychic power? This is high feet your Manger, so no, unfortunately not. Bless him for playing your Mangader. They say, and John Fickle on YouTube has suggested maybe it's a reroll to wound stratagem.
I'm pretty sure there's one of them for monsters. I don't know if it works for infantry.
If it's old One Eye running in, then maybe.
That is true. Yeah. So that was probably paying for old One Eye to reroll his wounds.
So we're going to stay with this game and see what the Warriors can do, and then I think we should pivot over to the other game.
Yeah, I definitely think we should because there might be a whole lot of things disappearing.
Yes, but I want to see what these Warriors do, if anything.
Knight down. I suppose if there's a Tyrannifex with the big gun, then that could lead to that. So that was the hand out +1 to hit effectively knight. That will be helping the other Crusader. But that means it might prevent the stratagem being free. Maybe if there's 1 CP left for Hank, he'll be able to still use the stratagem. The 3 CP do mortal wounds.
A CP, they get an extra CP, right?
Yeah, I assume he's taken the Code Chivalric, where if he is honored, he will gain a bonus command point. And yeah, so I assume that's been taken, but he might want to be able to act that knight at full bracket. I don't know how damaged they are. We'll see. So yeah, I'm not sure how we think this game looks like. I suppose we need to see the knights hit back, because their turn 1 really didn't have a whole lot in the way of targets. I suppose there was the Pyropod, but a lot of what's valuable will have been hidden.
There's like a few warriors being cut down here or stomped on. And Old One Eye, maybe he's okay into the knight with the melee weapons, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't think the Gallant has got to swing back yet, because that could potentially just end Old One Eye right then and there.
Which then nets that one knight just ping pong around the entire board half, really.
Yeah, I would. If Old One Eye went down, I would expect to see him go and try and have words, shall we say, with the Tyrannifex. Then, yeah.
So here we go.
That was a single, looks like important roll. It was a 6. I wonder if that was a standard knight up again.
We shall see.
Although, I'm not sure. I think Hank might actually be the player sitting... No, I'm not sure who's where.
This looks like the number of attacks from the big gauntlet that knights have.
That doesn't make a number of attacks, though. That's just equal to attacks characteristic.
Yeah, but it looks like the right number of dice is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wonder maybe if there was... No, it wouldn't be... I don't think it would be Death Grip, or at least it shouldn't be, because that into a 5-up invul is really not that great, which they might have for the Zone 3 imperative.
Has failed 2 saves there. Looking like a CP reroll for one of them, maybe? Oh, that is over I squished.
Alrighty.
So that was a fight on death thing. So, cool. What?
I don't think it was a fight on death. That I believe was probably the Gallant hitting back after Old One Eye has failed to kill it. We'll see if it piles in based off of this. I don't think it'll be able to move where it wants because of the warrior's positioning.
Yeah. Are we going to see a knight stand back up? Is 1 CP enough to do that?
It is not. That requires 2 CP for a big knight.
Oh, they really should not Overwatch then.
Yeah, I guess you're right there. It is on a 4-up, so yeah.
Shall we pivot to the other game, see what's left of both forces, really?
I think we should, yeah. Because this one, there'll be a bit of discussion, and then we'll see after the knight's movement and what disappears in their shooting phase. So yeah, hopefully the table boss can swap us over. Okay. So I think there was 1 knight has gone from the top and 2 knights have gone from the bottom of the...
Yep.
No, hang on. No, only 2 Chaos Knights have gone. 1 from the bottom, 1 from the top, because there were 7 left prior to this.
And now there's 4.
Yes.
So
wait,
we've lost 3 knights.
We've lost 4 knights now. Okay, yeah. So we've learned that some things are dying, and I am struggling to count at almost 3 a.m.
Yeah. Abaddon, who is not OPSEC, and only because of one model is being contested with the single Star Weaver, and it looks like we've had a charge move made into the Helverin style War Dog, with some Harlequins, and is that a character out in the open? I think that character needs to be very careful.
Whereabouts are you looking?
In the bottom of the
bottom center. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So
yes, they'll be tagging
in. They're trying to put more OPSEC models because these War Dogs count as OPSEC 5.
Yeah. So that is currently contesting the objective of all those troops there. But honestly, that one, the being Iconoclast, that Executioner, it'll have an extra attack because it got charged. 5 attacks, hitting on probably 4s, wounding on 2s.
Yep.
That honestly could threaten. That could threaten to pick up a clown, and then. Oh, I think that was an explosion roll. I think that might be dead.
So I think we're down to a couple wounds remaining. Oh no, we've taken some.
I see 2 dice. So no, I think if it hits back, that could have been charge phase mortal wounds. We'll wait and see.
I don't know what that 3 on the card is.
3 on the I'm not sure. I expect that'll be its wound tally for its for its mirror honored thing.
I see.
Yeah. That would make sense. If it kills a bike, it would have a 3.
Yep.
That would be my best guess. It's probably shot 1 bike down and add 3 wounds to its tally.
Because
it's offering to the Dark Gods. Yeah, for sure. So if a bike got dropped to 1 and gets finished off, then the 3 wounds of that bike would be added on there. Or regardless, the 3 wound autocannon is quite efficient into 3 wound Harlequin bikes. Cool. Okay, so that's a fight. It looks like that knight is going to be alive, so I really want to see if it can punch a clown down and reclaim its objective.
Yep, coming in with the shin kicks.
Yep. Go get him. Oh, and I think that was a dread test. I wonder if that was Terror Shades. Yeah, Table Boss, maybe you could just check if that was trying to use the Terror Shades stratagem. I don't think the Executioner has the right keyword for that, but it could be somewhere else. Or it could just have been some saves rolled at the end. I don't know.
I think it's some saves because I think we're still in the fight phases and Terror Shades in the morale phase.
It is. I don't know.
Also, just to note, Abaddon is down to 6 wounds.
Yep, so he took some damage from something, probably Voidweaver shooting if I had to guess, right?
Yeah.
Or just some form of shooting. Yeah, okay, so I think maybe he just kicked down 1 clown, I think. So it probably put 2 wounds, and those were, I think, were saving throws. Because I think there was a high number and a low number.
But that does mean
and the tally is up to 4. It does.
Which means the Chaos Knights have that objective again.
Yeah, the shin kick has done its job, which I'm not that surprised, and I am proud of that little wee Executioner. I wonder if the Chaos Knights player will have a couple of CP to maybe have that guy fall back, shoot and charge, or actually that might be better off used up the top there. If this knight, maybe it's a brigand, but yeah. So we'll see. This is a pretty effective turn by the Harlequins. I think the move lock and this turn, I assume where characters have been committed, might have been enough to break the Chaos Knights.
This has always been the issue with Knights, is that you are low model count. Even when you're spamming out Armigers, you're down to, 4 models now, and there's 5 objectives. Therein lies the problem.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I do wonder here if Abaddon, while cute, might be... He's 300 points that moves 6 inches. And just... That can be rough. Like, that could be... he could be swapped out for 2... any 2 Chaos Knights almost.
Yeah.
Definitely 2 Stalkers or 2 Carnivores, which, moving 12 or 14 respectively. Maybe you'd prefer that?
It's definitely not the best showcase for the new Abaddon fitting into Chaos Knights Wardog spam because of the light rules, which stops you from rerolling to hit. Because that's
for sure.
That is the big draw. Is it gives an efficient army efficiency.
And also, now to come to think of it, the light stratagem that'll just be a horrible time for Abaddon, where you charge and they go, cool, we're going to use the CP that we gained this turn to run away. And yeah. Oh, Abaddon, Talon Horus at that character.
I think that's the shadows here.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at the silhouette of the model.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I think the Troop Master or the Solitaire, it was up, punching knights up at the top.
Sorry, just grabbing a drink there.
No worries, mate.
Yeah. For sure. Do we maybe want to, because this will be the Chaos turn, we'll be able to see what comes back. There's so 4 boats up the top, 1 against Abaddon. Oh, okay. So shooting back, it looks like the Executioner's picked up 4 of the clowns it was in combat with, and then this is probably the Stubber, hoping to finish off the last one. But I think that was the pass save. We'll have... Yeah, do we want to keep watching this or switch over? I will leave the decision up to you.
I think we should switch over. Once we do so, Donator on Twitch, so that's Donator 9001. Can Abaddon go on a Land Raider? You can buy the 300 point model to 5 point ride. Sure, I think so. Why not?
Oh man, that's pretty good.
Can we have a switcheroo, please?
That is almost as good as buying a 270 point unit in Tyranid Warriors, an 850 point ride in the form of Martha the Biotitan. Shout out to Tyler.
So it looks like we've got the Knight Errant running up to have words, as you put it, with that big gun.
Knight Gallant, but yep.
Knight Gallant, Knight with punchy thing.
For sure.
And we have Knight with shooty thing over in the back, who has moved, I think, slightly further forward, but has also fallen out of combat. It doesn't really matter, and is ready to get rid of those pesky turn warriors.
And also importantly, tow onto that objective to just start holding it.
And then we've got a Warglaive who's run down from that objective to clear out just something on that.
I think you thought it was a Gene Stealer, a single Gene Stealer?
Yeah, it's a Gene Stealer. And I think the rest of the thing I'm seeing is Jaime in the Space Wolf holding a shelf.
There's also one Warglaive on the bottom right who's probably going to finish off a Pyrovore. I honestly would have expected... Maybe that's a dead pile. Otherwise, I would have thought that might move up and left and try shoot the Pyrovore down. But maybe they are
I think it's just staying there in case it has to charge. And I think the Halvern will be shooting away those gargoyles from the deployment zone.
Yep, at the top right of the table, for sure.
But definitely,
and it looks I imagine the Stubber from the Warglaive in the sort of bottom middle of the table. I imagine that will be aimed at those gargoyles too.
Yes. I think it's a bit of a rough game for the Knights. They're kind of spread all over the place. They're not really able to slap together and operate in a bit of a death ball. Because of how Matt has, I think, played this matchup quite well.
I don't know if the Knights. I don't know if the Knights necessarily need to death ball. I wonder. Do you know, Chris? Have you kept track? Are there any Tyranids things still in reserve? Oh, we have a charge. So the gargoyles haven't died in the corner. So that'll be just racking up engage for Matt. And the Knight needs to charge the Tyranid warriors. Is he going to charge the warriors?
Mind you, so if the Armiger can kill off the Gene Stealer, I think if it's still there, I can't honestly tell because of the video capture feed and the objective marker if it's still there. If the closest enemy unit is the stuff on the top left objective, that Knight should be able to just pile on up and get back onto the objective.
Yeah, well, I imagine what he's trying to do here is make sure... Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what he's going to try and do is I think he's going to try and finish off the warriors, maybe with the Warglaive first. Because it's pretty efficient. Or you hate to see it. I think this is command point reroll on the hit roll. And then if all 3 of these are... If none of them are 1s, warriors are gone. I think. What... Yeah, so I think there was some Fiona Pains being rolled there. but I am surprised they were getting saving throws. The chain cleaver's AP4. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not
That's
sure
for
there.
the players to sort out. They know the
Yeah,
game
for
state
sure,
much
for
better
sure.
than us.
I could be wrong here, and I am quite tired right now.
Oh, I am also feeling it, buddy. This is my 8th hour of. I'm almost done 8 hours of commentary back to back.
That is fair, but it's also in the middle of the day for you, is it not?
It's about 4 o'clock, but it's been a long shift. I'm not going to lie.
That's pretty fair.
But yes, hopefully that Knight Crusader with the top hat can stompy those bugs away. But maybe not, because I see one more dead, and I think the other one is still alive. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't think enough has been done by the Knights this turn. I think they would have needed.
That's very big.
Yeah, I think they needed more shooting damage done. Honestly, I thought the shooting phase would have still yet to have happened.
I think the
Gallon
shooting phase was spent on killing the big bug that was on the bottom right objective.
That would make sense. So this is a Gallant just trying to roll this Tyrannifex. I think he's going for some 6-up saves against the
Paragon Gauntlet?
Yeah, it's not a Paragon Gauntlet. That's a relic one. It is just a Thunderstrike Gauntlet. So I think that'll be a dead Tyrannifex here. It does explode! Explode! Yeah! For 1 mortal wound.
2. Wishy funeral paints. Yeah. Is it
okay?
It's D6, isn't it? It's a big bug.
I thought I just saw a 1 there anyway.
But that is now 10 models on that objective for the Knights, which they sorely needed.
Yeah. And if he gets Virtuous, I believe that Knight also is Obsec. I don't know how honoured Hank and his Knights are. I will go look at the conditions required for that.
Well, they have to pick it on the lists, but I think that's the end of the Knight's turn there. Should we have a quick tab back to the Chaos Knights game?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm still going to look for these oaths and double check some things.
Oh, we're back into a Harlequin's turn. So Chaos Knights, what do? They did a wee bit of shooting, they did a wee bit of fighting. I see significantly less Harlequin infantry on the board, but we still got the one biker in the middle. We still have the 3 Void Weavers. Abaddon has run away a little bit.
I think he's hiding because if he were exposing himself, he might be likely to die, I guess, to shooting. Whereas this way he can hide and then go kill
he won't die to shooting later. Remember, new Abaddon is
wound gated for sure. Yeah, but maybe there's some troops still inside that boat. If there were troops still inside that boat, Abaddon would be if he pokes his head out, he could very easily be killed by Void Weavers plus troop shooting in combat with some mortal wounds, and still wouldn't hold the objective. Whereas this way, maybe he can live and do something about it later. Yeah, because I imagine that Mirror of Fate's Knight is probably able to go, depending on how the rulings have done, walk up, touch that building, shoot through, try pop the transport, Abaddon charges the contents.
In WTC, that would be illegal because there's no actual base to go and touch.
I understand.
The tabs are purely structural. I'm not sure about how they're doing it here.
I don't know. I know I don't like that, and so I've made WTC-esque ruins that do not have that feature because I don't like it.
You don't like people seeing through buildings?
No, I don't like the fact that you can only see through one side from the building. But
I think it's the best thing about it, to be honest, because I find it really annoying that you can just touch a wall with your hand, and then suddenly you're getting cover and everything.
Yeah, part of the condition is you touch it, but then you're going to be charged from the other side of the wall. Is how I've got it set up. But anyway, that is not this game that we have in front of us. We have a single bike and a single transport going to score some behind enemy lines. And at least a point for deadly performance.
Whilst we're doing the movement phase, Ajax has reminded me that we're raising money for charity or something, or some madness like that.
Charity.
Let's go. So we're raising money for Child's Play. We'll get a donation total for you in a second. If our tech priest can go and grab that information, that'd be wonderful. So we are raising money for Child's Play. They're an international charity who I know are in, at the very least, Australia, US, UK, and Canada, and they put money. Sorry, they spend money to put toys and video games and consoles and board games into children's hospitals and domestic abuse shelters all over the world, and just to make kids happier, going through some pretty tough times. Take their mind off things, let them relax, let them recover better, as well, which is kind of a proven thing at this point. Happy kids recover better. We have a total for you. We are up to $11,450, which is amazing. But keep that money coming in. Please donate as much as you can. Please share the stream. Please like it, subscribe, all the things to boost the signal. It all helps. And as a thank you for donating, if in hopefully $30 increments, because you get raffle tickets for that, we're going to be giving away prizes. And you want to donate as early as you can. Alex, what prizes do we have up on offer?
Oh, what prizes? Okay, so in the continuous raffles, you'll be able to win boxes of swag, of product. I believe at least mostly or potentially all Games Workshop product of a whole manner of different varieties. It could be the start of a new army. It could be some basic material. It could be whatever you want. You could regift it to next year's Charity Hammer if you want. And then there are some main prizes. So if you manage to be the most charitable, the best of the Charity Hammer donees or something, you will win some custom objective markers. These lovely objective markers you see on the screen, themed after events of last year's Charity Hammer. And they'll be signed by everyone in attendance this year at Charity Hammer. In addition to that, there are two main sort of prizes, one of which is a $1,200, yep, that's the number, gift voucher to Hammerhead Games from Sacramento, California. They have G-Dub product and can get anything ordered in that you might want. They have, I believe, Magic the Gathering. They have other games, Star Wars Legion, Marvel Crisis Protocol, Outward Realms, probably a bunch of other things I am forgetting. Yeah, you can buy yourself a new army. You could buy a new army for your new game system. You could probably buy, if you tried, maybe all of a different game system in Marvel Crisis Protocol. Or if you're less interested in getting new models and maybe you have some models you want painted, you could tactically instead win your army to be commission painted by the one, the only, the Sean Naden. Yeah, he is a fantastic painter, a fantastic player. It's what helps him win Renaissance Man and all of the things. I'm running out of stuff to think about and say, Chris, have I missed anything?
I think you've got everything, buddy. Yeah, so donate, share, all the nice stuff. It looks like the Knights are down to 2 models, which is a problem for the Knights.
Yeah, big time problem. So yeah, it looks like that turn 2 for the Harlequins, they really hit pretty hard. Oh man, I'm blanking here. Yeah, so they managed to really hit hard enough and still just keep the, they could put out some sacrificial units. They've kept their 3 Void Weavers alive, so that'll just run rampant now. They will sit back, they'll find angles to shoot Abaddon, they'll pick him off in 2 turns. They don't care if he's wound gainted, they'll shoot him 2 more times. So I don't think Abaddon's going to be really having an impact anymore.
No. Sadly not for the channel debut of Abaddon. He's kind of just been running around out of breath behind Harlequins as they run away from him, and is a little bit unfortunate.
Play keep away with the chosen of the Pantheon. It is a bit of a sad state of affairs for Abaddon.
Going into round 4, we have a direct tie of the scores, but I don't think that will last very long.
No, I don't, but it is cool. I like it.
Yes.
There's 4 4s on the screen, on the scoreboard. 4 4s.
It's like that scene from 21 Jump Street. with the whiteboard.
Yeah,
Please tell
all the
me you get that
fours.
reference.
I
Yes.
get the reference. I got there.
Thank
I
you.
was
I was
thinking
right.
of the Liar's Dice from Pirates of the Caribbean with was it Bill Nighy going 4 fours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we jump over?
I want to watch Jump Street again. Should we jump on over to the other stream?
Yeah,
Hey, there we go.
Looks like one Terran warrior has escaped the wrath of the Imperial Knights for now and is scuttled over to be annoying and move block, potentially.
Yep. Matt, could you have been 7 less points, or Hank 3 more? Then we could have jumped over to 21 on the scoreboard. Anyway.
Yeah. So
I'm not mad. Look, at least Matt's got 14-14, equal primary and secondary. That looks nice.
Yeah.